Hello there, and welcome to the game The Monster Breeder. In today's video I would like to show you some additional tips and tricks for your journey. This will be useful for beginners and not only for beginners, I suppose for advanced players as well. There are some additional cool mechanics you need to understand to play this game with more joy. So, basically when you start a new game, you will choose basic difficulty and so on, and then you will have a possibility to choose your starting hero. And for starting heroes you have 3 battle classes: warrior, archer and sorcerer. Also you have 2 supporting classes like blacksmith and alchemist. The first 3, they can participate in battles. But keep in mind that if your main character dies, game over. And 2 auxiliary classes, they cannot participate in fights, but they can give you pretty nice bonuses. For my opinion, the best way to start is sorcerer or alchemist. If you start as sorcerer, you will have an ability to increase tameness for your juvenile monsters. Why this is good? Because tameness is good when you want your creatures to participate in all kind of events. Untamed creatures can participate only in deadly combats. So if you want your creatures to participate in quests and so on, you need to make them tamed. And sorcerer has passive bonus to tameness, and this is good, especially early on. Another good start option is alchemist. Alchemy is a way to improve your monsters as soon as possible. This gives you a possibility to increase your stats of your monsters with help of potions, and alchemist is brewing those potions. The most important thing in your alchemist is actually your intelligence. So my advice for you is to start as an alchemist with 100 intelligence. Intelligence is the most important stat for alchemist and sorcerer. For alchemist it gives you a possibility to rise your alchemy level as fast as possible. And really, there is a really big difference between low intelligence level and high one. So I recommend to start with 100 intelligence. Okay, when you start your game, you will have different choices. A lot of menus. You can see all of this detailed, described by me in my previous video. We have a full beginner's guide. It's quite a long video, but we covering all the aspects of the game. But for now I will give you some more precise tips. So in early game, very important for you is to finish those quests for druids. First quests for druids are essential for your good progression. Why is it so? Because we have such thing as Druid's Market. And on Druid's Market you can buy different creatures. So let's talk about creatures. Creatures have their basic stats and their skill abilities. Basic stats are health points, strength, agility, energy, endurance. Additionally, we have physical and magical resistance, plus critical chance and so on. Let's concentrate on our 5 main attributes: health points, strength, agility, energy and endurance. The most important in the early game, and not even in early game, is agility. The next important thing is energy and then endurance, then health, and the least important is strength. Why? Agility gives you ability action points and also bonuses for your attack chance, dodge chance and parry chance. And this is very important, because monster which will have about 40 agility will have an ability to attack twice in 1 round, and this is very crucial. Also, he will have pretty high chance to dodge enemy attacks and high chance to really land his blows. So for my perspective, agility is one of the best skills, maybe I think even the best. The second best is energy. Energy used for all the actions, both active and passives. So when you are dodging attacks, it uses your energy. Also, it uses when you attack enemy, so you need high energy level to maintain good offensive and defensive capabilities. And endurance, it's supportive for energy. Endurance just means the higher endurance stat you have, the more energy you will recover per turn. So these two are interconnected, and you need to increase both. Because if you will have high energy but poor endurance, your creature will just end up with no energy on some turns. I suppose in 2 or 3 turns you will have almost no energy for your skills. So focus on agility, energy and endurance, and some health to survivability. When you complete your first druid quests, you will have an access to the upgraded druids market, and this one is one of the most important things early game. Why? Because it gives you unique possibility to buy monsters with unique skills. I will show you the monsters with the best skills in the game, for my opinion. First of all, we will have an ability to buy Green Ant Rider. The main important thing about Green Ants is that these only creatures in the game that have no fear whatsoever. If you see any other creature, it has pretty high fear levels. Fear can decrease your action points during the game when you fight a creature which you are afraid of, or elemental attacks which you are afraid of. But Green Ant has no fears, so he is not susceptible to it. Green Ant has no fears, and not only he has no fears, he also, this one, upgraded one, has an ability called Fearless Aura, which increases fear resistance to nearby creatures. And this creature you can buy only here, on the upgraded Druids market. Second great skill in the game is Great Epic Attack. This one is actually superb one, especially not even in early game, but even in mid and late game. Why? It gives your creatures a possibility to attack. If you have different creatures with the same ability, Great Epic Attack, it gives you a possibility to attack at once with all creatures surrounding enemy monsters. We can see it in the combat. When you are surrounding an enemy, you will attack with all your creatures, and it is actually one of the best skills, because your first attack could miss, but all the supporting attacks will always land. So it's basically the easiest way to kill enemy monster fast enough. Okay. Another good skill is Flawless Defense. Flawless Defense is activated skill which gives you a possibility to dodge every enemy attack in a round if you have enough energy. So this is a great protective skill. Another two superb skills are Greater Lifesteal and Killer's Revival. So these are healing skills. Greater Lifesteal gives you a possibility to recover some HP on each successful attack, and Killer's Revival gives you a possibility to restore all your health if you kill enemy monsters. So these skills are good for your survival. Another superb skill for early game is Great Energy Steal. This gives you a possibility to passively decrease enemy energy on each successful attack. And it is especially crucial in early game when you don't have enough energy. In late game you will have quite a lot of energy, so you can spare some, but in early game this skill is just killer skill. It's super one to have. So this one, for my opinion, is must to have in early game. So this one is one of two creatures the best for early game. Second one the best in early game is Gillow Beast. This thing is just deadly. This is single best creature in the game for early game. While because of spiny skin and total spininess. So this combination of two skills means that you always retaliate with some passive damage for enemy attacks. I had fights when 3 monsters were just killed trying to kill my creature. So they just passively died. Again, Gillow Beast and Dire Alligator are two best creatures for early game. In middle and late game you will have some problem with Spiny Skin, because Spiny Skin could be upgraded only through implantation, and you cannot inherit Spiny Skin with 100% rate. So that means when you will breed Gillow Beast, there are two options. You can breed it with another Gillow Beast, so it will give you both skills inherited. Or you can breed it with some other, but in that case you won't have 100 Spiny Skin and you won't have 100% chance to retaliate every time. But for early game, just these two are superb ones. They have pretty good stats, superb skills and pretty long lifetime. Oh, let's talk about lifetime. Next, lifespan. We have three types of creatures in this game: insects, mammals and reptiles. Insects has the least lifespan and reptiles has the longest lifespan. Now let's talk about other important matters. So, some piece of basic information. Maximum level of basic attributes is 100. So basically you can upgrade all your main attributes to 100. This is the most important for protections and for elemental protections. Why? Because magic resistance and protections against elementals basically nullified any elemental damage enemy will deal to you. This is very important for endgame fights when enemies will have a lot of elemental attacks. And high physical protections just means that your enemy will deal you less damage with any additional like ordinary bites and attacks with ordinary weapons for humans. So this one is also important. So what else do I want to point out? There are all 4 different types of protections or weaknesses in the game: fire, frost, poison and shock. Each protects from its own element. The same for bites. You can have total of 5 different kind of bites: physical one and 4 elemental ones. One thing I want to point out, that fire, frost and shock could be upgraded while in juvenile period by the use of runes here on your hatchery. But the poison one cannot be upgraded by anything except implantation. So you need to implant organs with poison. So poison bite and poison protection, also poison skin, could be upgraded only through implantation. So it will be more to late game mechanic. Okay, another important thing, let's talk about what we can do with monster. One of the main things is upgrading. So when you gain in levels, you're gaining ability points, skill points. And let me tell you, the best way, if you are planning to use this monster for a long time, especially in early game, my opinion is you have to invest into development first. Because in 4 levels of this skill you will have plus 100% experience gain. And more importantly, when you have this skill up to level 5, you will have 1 additional skill point on each level up. It means that you will have 2 times faster development after level 4 and 4 times faster development after level 5 of this skill, because you will not only gain plus 100% experience, but also you will have 2 skill points each level. Next best things you need to upgrade for your monsters are combat skills like bite. This will increase cost of your defensive dodge, also offensive bite, and if you will pay attention, it will increase your bite strength by 5 on level 3 and plus 10 more on level 6 of this skill. Basically, early game monsters have pretty low stats. For example, basic Gillow Beast has only 13 bite, and if you invest enough points into his attack, he'll gain 2 times more attack on each attack, and his attacks will cost less energy. So this one is the most important skill for upgrading monsters and their combat capabilities at fight. Second, 2 other important things. Athletics. It gives you faster movement speed across arena because it decreases energy and action point cost for each moment. And also on level 3 it gives you plus 10 endurance, and endurance, as you remember, increase our energy recovery rate. And third most important thing is critical chance, not because of it, but because on 3rd and 5 level up it will give you plus 4 and 8 agility, so 12 total. And some HP if you have spare points in the end. Okay, let's quickly talk about your base. The most important buildings here, from my point of view, is Monster Keep. It will give you a possibility to accommodate up to 12 creatures onto level 3. Level 3 is the highest level for your buildings. So Monster Keep gives you a possibility to accommodate 12 monsters, and also on level 3 it gives you a possibility to change humidity and tolerances level for each creature. The second most important is Hatchling Lab. Maybe it is the most important. So you will have Hatchling Cabin, and in level 3 it will call the Monster Lab. It gives you a possibility to have up to 30 egg space, and also it gives you, on level 3, it gives you a possibility to put also humidity and temperature levels for each creature. Also on level 3 it gives you a possibility to place up to 3 runes for your juvenile creatures and up to 3 scrolls. Runes and scrolls give you a possibility to improve your creatures during juvenile period. So these 2 are the most important. And also I think Alchemist tower upgrades is quite important after that as well, because Alchemist give you a possibility to craft potions. And let's see Alchemist. So, as I said in the beginning, Alchemist main stat is intelligence. You can have 100 intelligence Alchemist from the start if you will start the game as your main character Alchemist. So Alchemy is all about crafting potions. You have, if you are focused in upgrading your monsters, the most important is creating potions for your monsters. First, quick tip, crossbreed potion. You will need crossbreed potion to breed any 2 creatures in the game. And you will need strength of 50 of this potion. So, a very good and important milestone for you will be getting your crossbreed up to level 50. One quick tip, you can have these additional modifiers for different types of your monsters. For this you will need to buy some additional stuff for Alchemy shop. But why I am pointing on this? Because it gives you plus 30% potion strength. It means that you can have potion of level 38, which actually gives you 50 potion strength. And you will need only 1 such potion for crossbreeding, because if you will have your potion strength less than 50, you will need more than 1 crossbreeding potions. And it is important if you want to use some other potions during breeding phase. So you are crafting a lot of different potions for each stat you need. Okay, so just keep in mind that you need level 50 crossbreeding for crossbreed your monsters. Also, while we're here, let's point out each Alchemy shop, blacksmith and monster lab has different additional mechanics you can buy for money. So, for example, Alchemy shop has all this additional stuff which increase efficiency of Alchemy shop and gives you additional possibilities. All of them could be bought in different events throughout the game. You will see this. Okay, that was about your base. Let's talk a little bit about hiring. We have these blood potions. Blood potions are useful if you want to work with your tolerances for heat and for humidity. Also, it is important when you want to prolong lifespan of your creatures. These potions by themselves are doing nothing, but they could be combined in two ways. Two most important things is human blood potion and reptile blood potion. Basically, human blood potion you can gain through the game from the market, or you can sacrifice one of your slaves and this button here. So you can go to the slaves, you can check one of your slaves and gain 3 blood potions from him. But unfortunately in this game your slave will be dead after this process. But you will have 3 human blood potions. Human blood potions, when you are using them on a juvenile creature, gives you some skill points, and the most importantly, they increase for a pretty good amount your tolerances for temperature and for humidity. So this is important if you want to raise your tolerances. And if you are using these potions on your, for example, insects, it could give you some lifespan. But for lifespan, you mainly need to use your reptile blood potions. You can check your reptile and here you can take his blood. In case of your creatures, they will not die, but they will need a couple of turns to regenerate. If you use one creature for 3 potions, you will need 3 turns, in-game turns, to be up to his full strength, but he won't die. And reptile blood is the main source for gaining a longer lifespan on your creatures. So keep it in mind. This is the most important potions. We have a possibility to recruit all the different types of human characters. This one gives you a possibility to hire warriors, archers, sorcerers, blacksmiths, and blacksmith's apprentice. Both blacksmiths and alchemist, they both can have up to 2 alchemists in the mid-late game. Alchemists' apprentices give you a possibility to craft potions faster. Also, you can upgrade them, train them, and then hire them as your main blacksmith or alchemist. So, you can hire different guys here. If you are in the early game, it is important for you to look at the age, because your human warriors are upgraded every season. So every once per year they gain increase to their combat stats. And that means that you need quite young characters if you want to have them for a long time. Because after age, I suppose, 40, they won't have any additional stats upgraded. So just keep in mind that you need to hire someone young with good skills. Skills are not as important, but you can hire for more money people with additional skill points available and some abilities already bought. Let's talk about upgrading your human characters. It is quite different from your monsters. You have this training tab for your human characters. What I want to point out here, that you need to understand how are you going to use your characters. For example, this guy is warrior, so he is melee character. He can have two-handed weapon or one-handed weapon plus a shield. I prefer one-handed weapon plus a shield because it gives you more protection. And these sliders here gives you a possibility to focus your training. So basically, if I want to have a character with one-handed weapons and shields, I don't need to upgrade skills for two-handed weapons and dodge. So I basically take out this to the minimum because we don't want to spend our precious annual gains for skills we don't need. And the same I place it for magic protection and fear of frost. So I don't want to improve them. Instead, I want to improve one-handed parry, shield skill, our main weapon skill, and also agility, endurance, and strength. So I want to point out that you need manually to take off all the skills you don't need. The same for our archers. We need to have higher archer skill, high agility, some endurance, and not as much strength. Also, you don't need melee weapons. I am not using melee weapons on my archers whatsoever. I think you don't need it. Some dodge, and you don't need one-handed parry and other stuff. Okay, this is my advice, just to take out all the skills you don't need to maximize gains for skills you actually need. Now let's quickly talk about fighting. I will give you several easy tips to understand. So first of all, you have all this hexagon for placing your units. You need to keep an eye on placement. The most important is to try to surround your enemy. For example, this guy gives us a possibility to surround him. So we may go here, for example, to be at his back, and we can surround him with all our creatures. What is important to understand? For example, each creature have its own attack of opportunity if you will try to leave his attack range. As you can see, we have 3 red arrows. It means that if I will try to move, all of these creatures will try to attack us. They will have a chance for attack of opportunity. So keep it in mind. Also, about surrounding. When you attacking your creature from the back, it's called unseen attack, so it always lands, and it could be crucial for killing your opponents. If you are able to surround him, this is great. Another most important thing about skill, great pack attack. As you remember, in the beginning of this video I told that this one is the best, maybe one of the best skills in the game. Why? Because, as I said, when you're using creature with great pack attack and you have another creatures nearby, you can attack with all the creatures at once. Let's see, all my creatures actually have great pack attack. So let's attack with this guy, and you will see that all creatures will attack in the same time. And what is the most important, that all attacks except main one always lands. So basically it's guarantee attack. As you can see, we killed high level enemy in just 2 attacks. Another important thing, when you're placing your creatures, always try to place like this. You will have 3 monsters here, and enemy should go to you to attack you. So it means that you need to place your creatures that way that you can attack with the most characters at once. And for enemy to just mitigate his attack, just maybe trying to get some choke point. So you need to place more creatures that enemy which are able to attack him. For example, we have now 3 creatures, we can attack this one. And if, for example, enemy had 2 more creatures here, then he can surround this one. So this would be bad placement. But he had no creatures here. So just keep in mind that do not get you surrounded. Okay, this is some just very quick basic tips. Just to try to kill enemies one by one, focusing on one monsters at a time, and trying to use the best of your skills. The more good skills you have, the more experience you will have your own strategies. So just keep it in mind. Have a good time. If you have some additional questions, you can ask me in the comments. Also, you can see my full beginner's guide on this channel, or just my playthrough where I'm playing a lot of fights, when I'm increasing stats of my monsters and doing all that stuff we can do in this great game. So enjoy the game, thank you all for watching, and good luck guys!